Insta Results Instagram training webinar here. We've got an incredible guest, Sue Zimmerman, on the other line. You can probably see her there in the image box. But before we get started, can everyone hear me okay out there? Maybe if someone can write in the chat box where they're calling from, or that they can hear me okay. Looks like Laura is typing something. Sounds great. Cool. Hi, Laura. I see my old chef, Bill Bracken. I still call him chef. Great guy. One of the best chefs I've ever worked with in my life is on this, so I'm very excited to see him there. He's got an exciting project he's working on. Maybe he'll get a chance to share with everyone a little later. Loud and clear. All right, great. Well, let's get started then. So I want to very quickly introduce this amazing guest, Sue Zimmerman. Some of you might have seen an interview I did with her a couple of months ago on the website, and this is going to be much more in-depth training. That was just something kind of quick we threw together, but I met Sue back in May, you can see in this picture here, at a conference up in Santa Clara in California. We were actually standing in line at Starbucks trying to figure out what we were going to get for breakfast, and I grabbed one of those juice drinks, and she asked if this was any good, and I said, well, compared to what? Our options weren't great there, and I don't drink much coffee. But anyways, we kind of just started this funny conversation. Then it turns out when I got into the room, I was sitting next to her roommate at the event, one of her very good friends, and then we formed this great relationship. But when she snapped this picture, day one, before we even talked about each other, or before we really met, she said, I'm going to put it on Instagram. And I'm like, what do you do with Instagram? And that started this whole journey of us kind of learning Instagram. And she's really, over the last 6 months, has really claimed her spot as an expert on Instagram. She's working with a lot of private clients and different businesses that she builds strategies for. But I've learned, and with Sue's help, and what we're starting to see out there, is that Instagram is a very powerful tool and can really be used to do some amazing things in business and in connecting with your audience more than just taking pictures. So you guys aren't here to hear me chat. I'm going to turn this over to Sue and let her take it from here. And if you have any questions, go ahead, type them into the box down there. We'll probably save questions to the end, but I think we're going to have enough time to get to all of them. So, Sue, it's all yours.
Yeah. How do I sound, you guys? Everyone, can you hear me okay? Ryan, the gang?
I hear you fine.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm really excited to be here. I just want to let you all know that Ryan has become one of my favorite friends that I met at Experts Academy. He and I share our expert journey together, our tips, our tricks, how to rock it online, and this space is not easy. So in the spirit of doing an Insta-awesome webinar, I salute Ryan for getting this together for you guys, and I hope that we both bring you invaluable content and information, especially how to use Instagram for your business. So why Instagram? You know, there's so many social media platforms out there, and everyone's head spinning with how much time they have in a day and what they can actually accomplish and how they can attract their ideal client. For me, just to let you know, I do use all social media platforms. I am one of those unique individuals that thinks in tweets and Instagrams. I'm a very visual learner, and Instagram was just made for my brain. So I'm so excited to really share with you how to leverage it as an amazing business tool. And you may have heard this recently, like visual curation. So what's visual curation? Basically, people are so sick and tired of getting so many emails in their inbox, right? And on Instagram, you can quickly share content visually, whether it is just simply a photograph or a 15-second video. So by doing so, the followers really can engage very easily and very quickly on your content, as long as the content that you're sharing is relevant and has a strategy to attract your ideal client. But again, back to mobile, everyone has their phone with them. I mean, if you're like me and you even carry it to the bathroom, I mean, it's the one thing that just that you don't lose sight of. So the fact that you have this mobile device means that you are armed with an opportunity 24/7 to share content when you think it's appropriate to share to your followers. And today we're going to really talk about, throughout the whole presentation, the magic of hashtags, because on Instagram specifically, you can attract your ideal client and follower if you use the hashtags that are relevant to you and your industry, and in this case, the restaurant industry. So I'm going to go over a lot of that. And even if you're somewhat intimidated of starting a new platform, but want to jump in and start Instagram, I say just watch and look and see what other people are doing and do some market research. On Instagram, there is a search button. It's the second one to the left where you can actually search relevant hashtags and search for certain followers. And you can look and read and see what they're doing, and you feel confident with your own strategy. So how does that sound, Ryan?
It sounds great. And I use the search all the time whenever I'm putting something up. I search for different hashtags and see what other people are following, if it's relevant or not.
Good. You had a good teacher there, buddy. Okay, so if my voice alone isn't going to convince you to get on Instagram, I want to show you some amazing statistics. And I want to let you know that when I first started teaching in this space 5 months ago, the numbers were significantly different. There were 100 million active users on Instagram, and now there are 150. And the projections for 2015 are to be 200 million active users. So the numbers are clearly going up, and you want to get in there before your competitors do. You can clearly become a thought leader in your space and really jump on board. Ryan sent out really amazing emails saying, you know, did you jump on the Facebook train too late or the Twitter train too late? Well, Instagram is now. It's like so ripe for the taking, and you definitely want to get in there. So I want to give you a little background on how I actually discovered it for my business. This is my Insta Awesome story. So I have adorable teenage twin daughters, as you can see in the top right-hand corner. And most of the time they're giving me a little attitude, and they know that I teach social media and have been for quite some time. And over a year ago, they were on Instagram, and I was really curious what they were doing. And I asked them, and they're like, Mom, we're not going to tell you because then you're going to start doing it. So, of course, I started doing it. And I have a boutique on Cape Cod. It's called Subie Doo. There I am in the middle with star customers, rocking it out, taking an Instagram photo of all the fabulous things she purchased. And at the bottom is actually an illustration of what my store looks like. And as you can see, I merchandise heavily on the outside to bring people in. But what I realized over the past year of using Instagram to drive traffic into the door at my store was that my sales had increased 40%. Because as you can see, my store is not that big, and we always with our customers when they're checking out, and we ask what brought them in. We're repeatedly hearing Instagram. And not only was I Instagramming, but I have 7 amazing girls who work for me, all high school seniors and college, young college students, and they were required as part of their job description to Instagram at least twice a day, which they love doing, as long as it showcased my products or my customers or something that we were broadcasting, an event that we had. And because they were also Instagramming as my buzz agents, the sales just were soaring. And whenever they brought someone in through their feed, I actually compensated them in commission because I wouldn't have had that sale otherwise, right? So that's Subie Doo, and that's my consumer product business. But I want to let you know, I want to share a story with you. So here I am on Instagram is both for B2C or B2B. On top here, you'll see my Facebook timeline photo of my Instagram course and the branding that I carry throughout, which is all coastal nautical vibe. And again, with my B, here's my timeline for my Cape Cod store. And I carried over the branding as best as I could, because you know what? People actually call me Subie Doo in the summer, and they call my husband Mr. Subie Doo. So I knew that I was being very consistent with my branding, bringing it over to Instagram and to my online business, because not only do I teach businesses how to use Instagram, but I teach them how to promote themselves online so they can be more successful. And with that said, I want to share with you the most amazing Instagram success story I've had to date. So this is a picture of me and Jill Boudreau. We just redid her logo. She is a luxury real estate agent here in my hometown, Wellesley, Massachusetts. And she and I have both lived in this town for 20 years, but never met each other, which is very surprising. She was doing an event for an open house where she invited Barbara Corcoran. She flew her in, paid for her to fly in, and put on an open house and realized that she really needed to broadcast that and started using Instagram haphazardly. And what she saw was my name kept reappearing whenever she was searching for thought leaders that she was connected to, like the Amy Porterfield, Melanie Duncan, James Wedmore, people in this expert space. My name kept showing up in the feed. So she reached out to me, booked a time trade appointment. We sat down at our local tea shop here, and 12 hours later, she wrote me a check for $15,000 to be her business coach. Pretty cool, huh, Ryan?
Very cool. So,
Yeah.
so I'm
And so,
sorry. I wanted. No, keep going. It's yours.
yeah, no. So I attracted her because of the relevant hashtags that I have been using in my posts. Some of them were Cape Cod and some of them were Wellesley. So she was searching for location-based hashtags and found me and had been following me for 3 months, but not telling me. She was kind of a lurker, not somebody really commenting. So she told me this story. It unfolded when we were together. And since then, we've done a mastermind. I've met with her whole team. We were at my Cape House this past weekend, which cost her $5,000. So now we're talking about a $20,000 client that I never would have met had it not been for Instagram. So I attracted my ideal client using relevant hashtags. Isn't that really cool?
So yeah, and I think we need to get into exactly what all that means, though.
We are gonna, this is just a prelude. So let's get into, today what we're gonna talk about, you're gonna learn how to attract more customers and fans. You're gonna learn how to build an authentic connection with your followers. And you're gonna learn how to become a leader in your restaurant industry. I don't know if that's because, some of the people on the call might own a wine shop, or they might own a restaurant, or they might be a chef. Ryan, you wanna expand on the different people that you attract?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely sent this out for restaurant specific, and being with your retail experience, and restaurants are, I mean, a restaurant is a retail establishment basically, so all those same strategies are going to apply, and that's what we want to hear a little bit more about. But as well, yeah, I mean, a lot of the audience that we work with is somehow food related, either via retail or through maybe some kind of online product that they sell. Um, we've got a wine shop, or a winery general manager on the call right now. So yeah, just kind of building that connection with your audience and really showing them more about your business. And I think that's where Instagram, that's what you've taught me at least about Instagram, is
Yeah.
how important that connection is and really seeing behind. I know we're going to get to that in a second. I don't want to go ahead here.
Okay, so before we get into some more of what you're going to learn, I just want to go over one thing. So this is inside Instagram. One of the reasons I absolutely love Instagram is because I really think there is so much less noise on Instagram than any other platform. You get onto Facebook and your news feed blows up, often with content you don't even want to be looking at. You probably choose to hide a lot of what you see, right? On Instagram, the second button on the right is called the chat button. It's my favorite button. It's the one with the heart. The red arrow is pointing to it, and you literally get to see on a daily basis what kind of interaction each post is getting. And on Instagram, they are chronologically stacked, so you can virtually go back to the very beginning of anyone's account that you choose to start following to see what kind of content they shared in the past. So this is just a quick snapshot of a screen share I did where I had someone leave a comment, someone liked a photo, and someone actually left a comment. So I pay attention to the people that actually engage and leave comments, because a lot of those people end up becoming my super fans. When I see people taking the time to engage on my content and post, I often click in and see who they are and see what they do, and I connect back with them once they've connected to me. So I share the the relation that the time that they've taken to leave a comment on my post. I feel like I want to reciprocate in some way. I don't always do this, especially if it's someone that I'm not really going to connect to, because in their bio it's not someone that is in the same space as me, but I do look at this throughout the day frequently to see what activity is going on in my Instagram feed. And like I said, I don't think there's any noise here. I think it's really clean and easy, and you get to see it when you want to see it. So that's one of the features that I love. In addition to what I mentioned earlier, I'm going to teach you guys strategies I'm going to teach you 8 strategies to get you the greatest results in the shortest period of time. I'm also going to bust through some myths that just are not true that I hear over and over again. And I'm going to tell you about some common business mistakes that none of you are going to make because you're so lucky you're on this webinar and listening in. And I'm going to post. This is another fabulous feature of Instagram. You can share it to multiple platforms.
Yeah, that's very cool. So a lot of people talk about how they don't have enough time for all these different strategies, but with Instagram, one post could go to all your different platforms.
Exactly. So here's an example of a photo where you're basically staking your claim and saying, I am a leader in what I love to do. So I did this through a third-party app called Diptic, D-I-P-T-I-C, and I talk about this extensively in my course. But it allows you to give like a scrapbook image of a story. So I wanted people to know, yes, I'm the Instagram gal, Insta amazing. I sell these handmade signs. I can do them with any words. This is my logo for my course, and this is just telling people that it's the first complete Instagram course available. And here I just had to play cute and do a selfie. So I just wanted to own Instagram and let people know that I have this space covered, so don't come near me. So by doing this, you can post photos and staking your claim as the restaurant that's known for X, or the ambiance, or the fans that come and play your restaurant, or your dessert is just the most amazing thing that people love to come and get when they eat at your restaurant. But you can say what it is that you hear over and over again and claim it on Instagram. Right, Ryan?
Yeah, and the cool thing, I just wrote Diptic back in the chat box so they could see what it is, but if you were doing like a 5-course meal, you could take a picture of all 5 courses, and with Diptic, you could really quickly put all 5 of those courses together into one post.
And that is a much better post to look at than just one picture of your appetizer. I want to see the whole course, all 5 courses. So I'm going to talk about those 8 strategies right now, okay? So let's jump into these. So everybody loves a happy customer, a happy fan, a happy client. So show them on Instagram. Show people having fun in your establishment. It can be something as simple as this, or it could be a kid's birthday party or an anniversary that people are celebrating. And often when you approach your clients and customers and say, are you guys supposed to be taking an Instagram photo? They say yes, because in some remote way, they feel like they're a little famous for a second on your post, especially since they're going to get featured. And the other thing you can do to take it one step further is to ask them, are you on Instagram? And get their handle name and mention them in the post, because other people might start following them because they're at your restaurant. So their fans could grow as well. So
it's a way when you do that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but that's one of my favorite strategies, because then if you post to their page or with their mention, then other people following them see what they're doing and they're having fun at your restaurant, and then they want to be a part of that.
Right, and they want to come in and have the same experience, absolutely. And so I'm just going to mention here, this is one of the reasons why ambiance of your restaurant is important, because when people do take in photos, they see the background of the photo as much as they see the foreground. So you want to make sure that if you have art hanging up or signs hanging up, that they are all okay with being photographed in a picture. The other thing I want to mention here as an opportunity for restaurants is to really establish what your top 3 hashtags are. And when you walk around and you do see people taking pictures, the manager might walk around and check on tables, or the maitre d'. You might say, oh, are you taking an Instagram? By the way, our top hashtags are X, Y, and Z. So you should know what your hashtags are specifically for your establishment. And it's really fun and easy to come up with your own unique hashtags. And I do go over that in the book, in the course, that at the end, if anyone wants to chat about that. Okay? So the second great posting strategy is to really show behind the scenes. Everyone loves to know what happens behind a business. And this is just a great shot. He is so incredibly focused on getting the frosting or the garnish on these amazing desserts, right? And his hat's not even fallen off. How's that possible? Are they bobby pinned on, Ryan? I don't know.
I love his the sideburns on that guy though.
So show behind the scenes, show your workers, celebrate your workers. If you have happy workers, you're going to have happy customers. So celebrate them, show them standing there handing out menus to the customers walking in, show the chef in the background, show the dishwasher, show people what it takes to get that delicious food on the table. Okay, so the third strategy that I'm going to share with you is thought leaders. Okay, Ryan, I think we should have a little contest here. Whoever on the call can name all 12 of those can get a special bonus prize, right?
I could
I know. We're
I
not
can
going to
name
take
all of
time
them
to do that now.
except for one, and
Okay.
I'm sure Bill Bracken over there can name that last one that I can't.
Okay, well, Bill might win something awesome. So
I don't know who
anyway,
this is.
I don't know who anyone is except Wolfgang Puck because I met him at an event I was at in Boston. It was Star Wars, and he catered it, and I got a picture with him. But anyway, so you want to showcase people who you admire, who are thought leaders in your industry, who have helped you get to where you are. You can leverage their handle, their hashtags, their success, their fame by simply giving a shout out to them as being someone that you're connected to, right?
Yep,
Ryan's
absolutely.
smiling over there. Okay.
Well, Bracken's typing. I'm sure he's gonna know who that is.
Okay. So the other great strategy is to Instagram events that you attend. So you guys might go to certain food conferences, certain networks. I know that they're all over the country. I don't go to them, so I can't name them quickly, but I found this one. It was a clean logo. I brought it in. The Dish Food and Events in New York City. All I know is like Zabar's in New York City is friggin' awesome, and they attend all these foodie events. But seriously, you can really let people know where you go, where you get your knowledge, where you get inspired, what suppliers you buy from by hashtagging their business, at mentioning them as well. And when I say at mention, it's very similar to Twitter. When you at mention someone on Instagram, you're at mentioning their handle name, and they get a notification that you have mentioned them. So it's like giving them a shout out. But I will warn you that everyone does not necessarily have the same handle name on Instagram that they have on Twitter. So you might want to do a little research before you at mention them on Instagram. By now, most every business has an Instagram button on their website, so you can click in there and find out what their handle name is very quickly and easily if you're stuck. Obviously, the big, huge brands are very consistent, but some of the smaller businesses and establishments weren't on Instagram soon enough to get the name of their business or establishment. So you just want to check that out before you at mention them. Do you have anything to add to that, Ryan? Are you good?
Well, no, just with event you attend. I know you and I talk a lot about charity events. If you attend a local charity event, or if your restaurant or business supports charities, it's great. Those are very, very engaging posts on Instagram because it lets people know that you're thinking about things other than just your restaurant, and it
Right.
lets them know that you're out there in the community and contributing, and you find commonality with people because if it's a charity that they support, then they're going to want to start following you just because of that commonality there.
Right. It makes you more global than local. That's a good
Right.
analogy. I like that. Okay, so the fifth strategy is show your personality, right? I forget his name, but I know he has a restaurant in New York City. Ramsey something, right?
You're not talking
Was
about
it?
Gordon Ramsay, are you?
Yeah. Right?
Let's
So,
just not talk. Let's not talk about Gordon Ramsay.
okay, so I don't know much about him as a restaurant owner, so excuse me if he's not the perfect personality to be showcasing in this webinar, but I grabbed that off the internet mainly because these guys were just passionately smiling and having fun. So my point here more than anything is if there's something so unique to you that makes people remember you, show that on Instagram. Is it the chef hat that you wear? For me, I love hats and wear a lot of hats. So I'm always taking pictures in my different hats. I also love to rollerblade, so often you'll see a picture of me rollerblading. I want people to know there's more to me than just the Instagram gal that makes me tick and things that I'm passionate about. So just show that. And the sixth strategy is to really, you have the opportunity to run a promotion, which is really cool for restaurants. You can run a promotion and give away a free dessert or a free drink. You can mention somebody, get them to follow you on Twitter, get them to like your Facebook page. And there's a great app, Ryan, you can type it in the chat if you want, called randomnumber.org, where you can generate a winner randomly. So one of the things I do for one of my businesses is a contest, and I give away free jewelry. And of course, everyone wants free jewelry, but guess what? I end up selling about 5 pairs of the free item and only giving away one. So it's like a lost leader. And I announce the winner at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and people often wait to hear who the winner is going to be. Some people tweet about the post, some people post it on Facebook. But if you are just starting out and you want to get more followers and get people on Instagram, doing a contest is really great. And you can create these by yourself in an application as easy as PicMonkey, or I have a graphic team that does them for me. But if you don't have the luxury of doing it through a graphic team, it's not that hard to do this through many free applications. Do you want to add anything to that, Ryan?
No, the contests are great. You covered that there. I love doing the contests, and that randomnumber.org that I put in there, that's to just make sure that your contests are official, so that way you're not like picking and choosing a favorite, because you know the people. So
right.
you go to randomnumber.org and somehow you upload everyone that entered your contest, and then it uses a series of algorithms to just completely randomly pick a winner for you.
What it does is you enter the total number of people that have commented or that involved, and then it picks a random number, so that you would just basically count down from the post who was the 7th person that posted, or the 6th.
Right.
Okay. All right. I hope that this is a better fan picture for you guys, because Ryan didn't like the last one. Do you guys love Julia Child? I hope so.
Oh, she's amazing.
Okay.
I had an opportunity to meet her a very, very long time ago. It was incredible.
Okay, good. So I did it right here. Again, you guys, I'm in a different industry, but I love yours because I love fine dining. Okay. So Julia Child, okay, who does she not inspire if you guys are in the food industry? And look at her. This is such a great picture with all her different rolling pins. God knows what she does with them all, but she makes delicious stuff. So again, an opportunity to give shout outs to people that inspire you, that have come before you, that have paved the path in what you love to do. Everybody has people in their life that inspires them, right? And the 8th and final strategy is to share quotes. Believe it or not, quotes get the most engagement of anything that I do. But partly I think that's true because I pick really good quotes that are relevant to me personally and my branding. I don't just put random quotes online. And I brand my quotes so that they're very memorable in my color scheme, and they all have a little anchor on them. So when you see my quote, you know that that's a Subie Zimmerman quote. In fact, every time I upload a quote, I hashtag SBZ quote. So you know that if you clicked on that on Instagram, you would see all of my quotes. And just to expand on that a little bit, so when you use a hashtag on Instagram, you are curating data with that word or that phrase. So there's general words that you can use, and then there's really hyper-focused words that you can use. And I'm going to go through that in a little bit. Do you want to add anything here on that, Ryan? I will definitely expand on that.
The quoting strategy, it's unbelievable. I get more engagement with quotes than anything else. And I know you put it as number 8, because I think your number 1 is the most important. But yeah, with the quotes are just unbelievable. And you could very easily make quotes like this. This is what she's talking about when she says like a visual quote. If you can, most of the time, if it's a popular quote, you can just Google that quote and click on Google Images, and you'll find other people who have made images of the quote. What Sue's talking about is kind of taking it to the next level. Like, you know, you can send off 20 or 30 quotes to your graphics team, and in a matter of 1 hour of labor, they could probably make you 20 or 30 different quotes that are branded to look like your restaurant with like a specific hashtag on there. So then, as people see those quotes, those are also some of the most forwarded things. So they're going to forward a quote that they love to a friend of theirs, and then they'll see it comes back to your restaurant, and then people are going to want to follow your restaurant and see what's going on because of these amazing quotes that you're putting out. So I love the quote strategy. Yeah. It's so easy.
I just want to add something to that. So in my course, I talk about watermarks. There's an application where you can watermark your images, any image. So it can either be your logo of your restaurant or your business or your brand, or it could be your name. So if you're going to start curating content that is branded to you, you want to make sure that you have some kind of watermark on there so that if someone's going to take a screenshot of your image, they don't literally steal it. Again, this is something I teach in the course, but you can do that to any image that you post on Instagram.
The one thing
All
I
right,
wanted to, oh, I'm sorry.
go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to add here because you're moving on, I know, but what I want people to pay attention to is that in all of those 1 through 8, not one of those was a sales technique. Not one of those was come in and try this special. And I think that's, again, I'm stepping on your toes here, and I apologize. I just really wanted to
No, I
point
love
that
that
out.
you're adding value.
So many people are using these platforms incorrectly in that they're just using it as another place to sell or another place to advertise. And that's not what people are interested in out there. People want the fun, they want the engagement, they want to see what's happening in the community, they want to know, like, and trust you as the professional, as the expert in your arena. They don't want to be sold to on a regular basis. So again, just notice the one thing here, when most of us as business owners, if we say to the young girl or guy in our business, oh, you're good on Instagram, why don't you take over? What they end up doing is taking a picture of the special every night, sending it out and saying, come in and try this, come in and try this. People don't want to follow that. That's not interesting to them. Every once in a while, the rule of thumb that I use is 1 to 7 or even 1 to 10 ratio of for every 7 to 10 engaging posts that you put out, you can make 1 sales offer. And taking a picture of a special, even though it doesn't feel like a sale, that is a sales offer.
Right.
So
That's a
sorry,
good point.
I didn't mean to walk right
No,
over you there, Stella. Sorry.
no, I like when you're adding value to the webinar. I think this is very interactive, and I want it to be, you're the expert, you're the expert in the restaurant space. I'm the expert at teaching Instagram. So you clearly have some great tips and suggestions. So I want to listen to them. So thanks for that. So those are only 8. And by the way, they were not in any order of importance. They were just I have at least 30 strategies, but for the sake of time, and I want to come up with probably the top 8, but they're not in order of most important. Now I want to just bust through some of these myths that I hear over and over again when I'm talking to people, especially in business, and saying, seriously, you want me to be on Instagram? Because my teenagers are on Instagram 24/7. I can't imagine how that could work for my business. So that's just not true. And like we said earlier, you become the leader. Get in here before your competitors do. It's only growing exponentially, and there's so much opportunity here. The other thing is that, oh my gosh, everything takes so much time online. I can't imagine doing one more thing. I spend at most 30 minutes a week on Instagram. That's a week, not a day. And yes, I do look and engage at my posts and interactions, but I'm not curating content more than 30 minutes a week. So this is where I get the most bang for my buck from any social media platform, clearly. And the other thing that we already busted through is that there just aren't many users. Why would I want to be there? Well, it's growing daily, and 150 million people is pretty darn impressive, especially since they just started in 2010. So, just make sure you open up that account like as soon as we get off this webinar if you don't already have one. And then this whole notion that it's so hard to get new followers anywhere, why would I want to start over again? Well, on Instagram, if you are sharing fabulous images, high quality photos, deliciousness, healthy food, yummy food, artistic food, people love looking at food because guess what? We eat at least 3 to 5 times a day. It is the most popular image on Instagram is food porn. So make yours awesome and make yours different than what everyone else is doing. Anything to add to that, Rye?
No, let's move on.
All right. Now we're going to just talk about the most common business mistakes because I don't want anyone to make these on the call. Okay? So incomplete bio, blurry photos, irrelevant photos, and no hashtag strategy. Here is a picture of a bad Insta user. There is no bio. There is no URL. Bad Insta user. Now, you get 150 characters to write a rocking bio. Use them. You can say, you want to use keywords like you do when you write your LinkedIn profile. So what is it about you that makes you so special that I would want to click in and follow? Make sure those keywords are there. Secondly, you get to upload a URL that's a live hyperlink. Now, this is awesome because it's so easy to edit your profile on Instagram, again, right on your handheld. So if, for example, you did a YouTube video showing how you made your most delicious dessert at your restaurant and you cut it down to 15 seconds, wanted to upload that, you could post a picture of the dessert when it was done. In the description, write what it is with the relevant hashtags, and then say, click the link in my bio to see a full video of how I made this on YouTube. Because some people are trying to grow their YouTube followers, and so you can direct traffic there, get more subscribers, hopefully they'll comment on your YouTube video, and that will work. Or you might simply want to drive the traffic to your website, or it might be a featured item that you're selling for the week because of the season of the year. You might have certain featured food that you serve. You might decide that you really are trying to grow your Twitter followers, so you might want to link to Twitter or link to Facebook. So there's always a place that you can link, or if you're like Ryan or myself and you have opt-in pages where you're trying to grow a list, you can link to your opt-in page. So the beauty of Instagram is that you can change that URL very easily, and you can announce that URL in a post. Click in my bio in that URL. So 3 things: awesome photo, either a professional, beautiful photo of your face or your logo, and a complete bio and a URL. Make sure all 3 of those things are in your Instagram handle before you share any posts. Okay? The second thing you do not want to do is upload a blurry picture. Just delete it and start again. There's no reason. This is my Cody, my cockapoo. It's blurry. It's a painting of him. It's not cropped properly. Start again, take the picture, and then share it. Do not share blurry pictures. You want to have very high standards on Instagram. And by the way, with the 20 different filters that you can choose from, it's so easy to make an okay photo look fabulous instantly. Another thing you do not want to do is take a picture of anything that's irrelevant to who you are. I don't care that you're in an elevator and you're going to press a button soon. Like, why even bother taking a picture? I don't need a play-by-play of every step you're taking, right? And the last one is uploading images without a hashtag strategy. I can't stress this enough. You have 30 hashtags that you can use in a post. You want to know what your top 30 hashtags are. I suggest writing them down, and actually I teach this in the course, but I'll say it quickly. If you're like me and you have an iPhone or an iPad, you can open up your notes and you can put all those hashtags in your notes. Make sure they're all spelled correctly. Sometimes your fingers type so fast you misspell a word. And when you do that, you can just copy and paste those hashtags in your post if it's relevant to the post that you have. So if you have a themed post, like 4 to 6 different posts that you're making, maybe one is brunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there's certain words that you would have in each one of those times that you serve, or even dessert, or the drink of the week, or the drink of the night, or the entertainment. You can create a hashtag strategy in notes. They're already sitting there. You don't have to think about it. Just copy and paste it. And again, I go over this in depth in the course, but I wanted to share that with you because it's really important that that's a nice little shortcut. Right, Ryan?
Well, I've got 2 ideas that I'm taking from this right now. I don't think I have a link in my bio, so the second we get off the call here, I'm going to go put a link in my bio, so that's huge.
Oh my
And
gosh.
like she said, YouTube is a whole nother conversation that we're going to talk a little bit about that later, but having a
Yeah.
link back to YouTube or to Facebook or to whatever your secondary focus is, having that link back. And then I love the idea. I'm going to do that too, because I keep a notepad in my room, in my office, of all the different hashtags, but I never thought about having them on my phone so I could just cut and copy them, because those are the things that take too much time. When I put up a post, it takes me 3 or 4 minutes to remember all my hashtags. If all I have to do is cut and copy them, it'll take 10 seconds.
Right.
So
And this is why
those are 2 great tips.
good. And this is why it takes me under a minute to do each post, because I got all that going on. Okay, so 3 more things. How to get the most reach from a post. I'm going to show you how to share to multiple platforms. We're going to talk about geo-tagging your posts. And this word I made up, it's an acronym, CLEAP. So you have to stay on to hear what that means, but you don't want to miss it. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, you can share your Instagram images to multiple platforms. These are my two favorites, Facebook and Twitter. And when you share to Facebook, the beauty is that you can share it either to your personal page or your business page. And if you have more than one business page like I do, you can choose which business page you share to. Now, on Instagram, it appears that there's only 5 buttons in the front, but there are really 50 buttons, 50. And I go through the details of each one of those buttons and how to find them and how to use them. And this is one of those buttons, how to share from Instagram over to the right Facebook page. You can also share your post to Twitter when it's relevant. Now, you don't want to be sharing random pictures to Twitter. The pictures to share are the ones with your thought leaders in it or people who inspire that actually have big followers on Instagram, or a restaurant that you're eating in that has a huge following on Instagram, because they will retweet that post if they're mentioned from Instagram over Twitter. So another way to grow your following, not only on Instagram, but also on Facebook and on Twitter. Now, you can also share your post over to Foursquare or Flickr if you have accounts there as well. But just in the sake of not overwhelming and keeping things a little simple today, I just wanted to focus on these two reaches that you can get. And when you get the conversation rolling over in Facebook or Twitter, it absolutely helps with search engine optimization, SEO as we call it. So here's an example of a photo that I posted. This is the back of my store on the Cape, and it started on Instagram. If you look right here, see where it says view on Instagram? Now that is a live link on Facebook. If you were to click that, if you saw this on Facebook and clicked it, it would take you right into my Instagram account. So you might be on Facebook, you click on that, and now you're on my Instagram account. So you are now interested in following me on Instagram. You didn't know I was on Instagram. You were only on Facebook and you didn't know I was on Instagram. So it's a way to get more followers on Instagram when you share over to Facebook, just as much as it's a way to get more people on Facebook from Instagram. So what's really cool about this, what I wanted to point out, is I only used 2 hashtags here. It was the beginning of the summer, and then I got really good at hashtags towards the end. But the 2 that I used are very relevant. One is Cape Cod, which is the location of where my store is, and the other is obviously the name of my business. So anyone that's following that hashtag can see every single picture, and I'll warn you, there are quite a few on Subie Doo of products that I sell. So if you guys like nautical, Cape, Nantucket, or vineyard clothing, jewelry, or accessories, check out that hashtag. But what's really interesting here is that I got 30 other people liking this post on Facebook and about 12 people actually commenting. And these are people that weren't commenting over on Instagram. So it's a way to carry the conversation a little bit further. Someone saying, can't wait to see you, I need a bracelet, I'm excited, I downloaded the Subie Doo app. So it's just, again, engagement with your ideal clients, customers, or fans. Does that make sense, Ryan?
Oh yeah. Oh, and I'm glad
Awesome.
I wanted to point out the Cape Cod hashtag, which you already talked about. I want to hit that again, how important using those local hashtags. And I know you're going to talk about geotagging, but
Yes.
that's where you find people who aren't necessarily thinking about you, but for restaurants and retail, they're so similar. You want that local person to be seeing what you're putting out.
Absolutely. Okay, so for those of you that love Pinterest, I have great news. You can pin your Instagram pics. If you go to statagram.com, and there's a whole module on this in the course, Ryan, but I'm going to mention it anyway. If you go to statagram.com, that's what this interface is. You want to make sure you have the pin it button in your browser, and you can pin your posts. Cool,
And
right?
restaurants, I really quickly, I know this isn't about Pinterest, but you should check out Chili's Pinterest page. It's the best Pinterest page I've ever seen. It's basically a visual version of a menu, and restaurants should be copying that. And again, the interactions between Instagram and Pinterest are so seamless.
Absolutely. And so people that fall down the Pinterest hole and stay there for an hour, this is a real quick and efficient way just to pin your Instagram pics to the right board. So I just think it's amazing that you can do this right from Statagram. So that's how you can continue to get more reach. I'm going to now talk to you about geotagging your posts. Yes, I was right near Alanis Morissette recently. She's a rock star, and she is beautiful in person as she is on stage. I went to this event called Emerging Women. It was an amazing event in Colorado, and I geotagged the post, which means you can see exactly where this picture was taken. Now, pretend that this is a restaurant, and they're having delicious food. And I saw it, and I was curious, and I wanted to know where that restaurant was. You click on this hyperlink in the geotag, it takes you right to maps and gives you a direction. So I'm going to share with you a story, a recent story with my husband and I. We were going to have dinner at Grill 23 in Boston. I had never been there. Apparently, it's been there for 30 years. It's a steak restaurant. And I decided to do a search on Instagram. Of course, there was a million hashtags of people Instagramming the delicious food at the restaurant. And some of them were geotagged. So all I did was found the food, clicked the geotag, took me to maps, and I immediately started giving my husband directions. I just put on Surrey, and she took it away, took it from there. So you want to absolutely geotag your Instagrams and let people know where you are if you're curating content that is relevant and you're going to want people to know what's going on in your life. And like, are you at a winery and you're learning about grapes, or are you at some event where you're learning how to cook and you're investing in your career and yourself, or are you shopping for new utensils at your favorite to get your kitchen gear? I don't know if that's Williams Sonoma or not, but that's mine. By the way, Ryan, I need some knives. So
That's right. I never got you the name.
Okay. So anyway, does that you guys understand about the geotagging?
If anyone has any questions, go ahead and type them in the box, and we'll make sure to answer them.
Okay. So this is what Cleep means, and if you use Cleep, you will get more peeps, guaranteed. So the C stands for categories. You want to hashtag categories. You want to hashtag your locations, as Ryan mentioned, and I shared with you about Cape Cod. You want to also hashtag emotions. Guess what the #1 hashtag on Instagram is? Okay, everyone on the call, type it in, and I'm going to see if anyone gets it while I move on. Come on, you guys, you have to play with me, all of you. The other one is events. Hashtag events that you attend. And we mentioned that. We had a strategy about that, right? And the last one is, okay, Ryan, how come you get to play and you win? Okay, so the word is love. That is the #1 hashtag on Instagram. So you want to occasionally put that there in your post, like love dessert, love pie. People follow it. It's you're not digging deep, but it's definitely a fun hashtag. And
it's crazy how fast those hashtags move. I've put up posts on like hashtag love, and you go back to it 2 seconds later, and you're already like the 30th one on there.
Exactly. So, and I know. And so the last one is products that either you sell, maybe you create salad dressing in your restaurant that you sell, and you want to showcase the products that you're selling, or just your favorite products that you use in the restaurant. Everyone has something that they sell, right? It might even be a gift card that you have to get people to buy to come into the restaurant. I mean, let's face it, the holiday season's almost here. Everyone's coming in to your establishment to have a holiday party, right?
Yep.
So I just want to share with you, not only am I teaching people like you, restaurant owners, how to use Instagram, but if you or a friend is in business, I want to show you that this is really good for any industry. Melissa Partridge has a jewelry business, and I taught her how to use Instagram. Allie is a radio host. Laurie Metzler is the founder of Juice, which is an organic green juice company. And Leah is a life coach. And all of these people have taken my course and gone through the program and have had insanely amazing results. Right, Ryan?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, if you want to take it away a little bit here, Ryan, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, really quickly, the strategies and the techniques that you've gone over here, like I say, you and I talk every week, and there's 2 or 3 things that I've taken from this that I'm going to put into action right away that I know are going to help with my Instagram strategy. But like I said in some of the emails, if you guys were watching those or paying attention closely or not, you really have about 3, maybe 6 months to claim your space on Instagram and to claim your real estate. I was behind on Facebook. It took me a couple of years. I'm like, what do we need Facebook for? What do we need Facebook for? And then all of a sudden, when I finally got involved on Facebook, I don't want to say it was too late, but I was definitely playing catch up. I did the same thing with Twitter. And when Instagram came around, I was kind of in the same spot where I didn't really quite understand it. But when Sue and I started talking, I realized that people that started on Instagram 4 or 5 months ago are starting to really claim their space in a big way. It's not happening in restaurants. It's not happening in retail as much. Like I said, if you're in fitness, if you're in what was the other category? I can't even think of it now. But
Health,
those
fitness.
health fitness, those places are getting very, very popular and they're getting claimed already. It's going to be really hard. I met someone a couple weeks ago that has over 100,000 followers in the fitness area. Um, but I guess what I'm saying is if you enjoyed the information that you saw here, I've been through Sue's course. It's incredible. She's going to talk a little bit about it in a second here. If you liked what you saw here, you want to learn a little bit more, I really can't stress enough how important, especially in restaurants. I know we've got some people in wineries here. We've got some people who sell some different products. You've got about 3, maybe 6 months to really own Instagram and show how professional you are and put together the right strategies. I use the example of strategy and how important strategy is. It's not just being there. If you are standing on the beach in Santa Monica staring dead east, you will never see a sunset. So you have to not only be in the right place at the right time, but you also have to have the right strategy. And so, like I say, Sue's going to talk a little bit more, but you cannot wait. You can't get caught behind. You need to get on Instagram quickly with the right strategies, with the strategies that big businesses are using to attract customers. And you've got maybe 3, maybe 6 months, depending on how big your area is, what you're trying to claim, what area. But I want Sue to talk more about kind of the specifics of her course and what she's offering here today. Don't drop
Yeah,
off the call. I know we're only 8 minutes away from our deadline here, but if it takes us a couple more minutes to go through it, she's got some amazing bonuses here at the end, and just
yeah, and there's
go for it, Sue.
yeah, yeah, and there's something for everybody that stays on the call and doesn't drop off because I don't want this to be a selling pitch by any means. I just simply want to share with you what you can learn more because there is so much. So my course is under 3 hours long, and what's so great is that each module has videos in it, which are 3 to 5 minutes. So if you need to go pick up the kids or run out and do an errand, you can actually take it all in little sounds and not feel like you have to replay it and start over. So let me just quickly go through. The first module is basically how to join Instagram, the initial setup, and the complete tour. I did talk with you a little bit about that, but there's actually 12 videos in this. I talk about security features, how to use the search, how to delete an Instagram post if you don't like it, and what the Instagram lingo is, all that good stuff. In the second module, there are 5 videos with a focus on why your business will explode on Instagram and the effective strategies from some very well-known Instagram influencers. I have 3 amazing case studies in this module. And the third one is how to create rocking posts on Instagram, optimizing your photo for optimized following and content strategy. There are 8 videos in here. I teach you in this one how to use that app we talked about, Diptyque. I also teach you how to use my favorite app, which is called Pick, Play, Post. It's the video one where you can upload more than one video in one post, play them sequentially, and actually put some music in the background. And I go in depth about the value of geo-tagging, as I mentioned earlier, for a little bit. And the 5th module is, oops, sorry. Oh, these are out of
All good.
order.
You keep going. I'll get this figured out. I don't know what happened here.
Oh, okay, I guess I got moved. All right.
There we
What
go.
number are we on? The 5th one?
5.
Okay. Oh, 5. Grow your brand and how to create a large network on Instagram. And on this module, there are, I think, 5 different videos in there, and we really go deep in all the details to do that. And then finally, the 6th one is the results, measuring the results, how to look at your, I talked with you a little bit about Statagram, but there is so much data that you can assess, analyze, and if you're really a data-driven person, this module is for you because you can learn what you're doing and what's working, and then use those strategies to continue doing more. So what's really cool is I met some amazing people recently who have touched my business, touched my life, and have agreed to give some bonuses to the course, which is so awesome. Mari Smith and I are actually doing a webinar together next week to her private Facebook group, and she created exclusively for my course the 10 Facebook marketing do's and don'ts. It is a download of 16 pages of amazing content that is so valuable, especially if you want to learn more about marketing on Facebook. And as I mentioned, Instagram is integrated with that, so it's really important to do that. And James has offered to give me the 5 essential videos that every business needs. And I asked him to put a price on it, and he said, Sue, it's priceless.
Well, no, all joking aside, so for some of you out there who don't know who James Wedmore is, most of you probably don't, he's a YouTube expert on engagement, and YouTube is becoming, it's tied up there with Instagram right now. It's probably my number one lead generator right now, where Google is the number one search engine. YouTube is owned by Google, and believe it or not, YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world. And if you post to YouTube, who do you think Google is going to rank at the top? They're going to rank their own at the top. So James Wedmore's YouTube strategies, even if you're in a restaurant, you think you don't need those videos on there, you need very specific videos on YouTube, and they need to be tagged and SEO'd very specifically for your local audience, which would be different than someone like Sue who's reaching a global audience. But this is a great introduction. I've seen this stuff that James puts out. It's incredible, and you need to be taking YouTube very seriously.
Absolutely. Okay. Agree. And the final one is one of my favorite people in my life, Michael Port. If you haven't read Book Yourself Solid and you don't live by his red velvet rope policy, you've got to get your hands on that book. So Michael has graciously given me a download to his Business in a Box. It's the automated marketing and sales funnel process that he uses for his multi-million-dollar business. And he also said, Sue, it's priceless. So these bonuses alone are just invaluable. But what we decided to do was offer the course today at an amazing price of $197, where you can become an Insta expert, guaranteed, hands down. And with that price comes these additional bonuses that I think is where the value really is at. You get a lifetime access because I'm constantly upgrading and improving the course as Instagram changes. I add those in so that you guys are staying top of mind there with anything new. And you have this for life. So once you buy it, if the price goes up, which it might as I add more modules, you still have access to it no matter what. And I think the most valuable thing that I've created, Ryan, quite frankly, is my private Facebook group. I have almost 100 people in that group now, and everyone is a champion for each other's success. Everyone is starting out on Instagram new. I feature people daily and ask people to follow and click in, and not just follow, but leave a comment on Instagram. I give everyone assignments, and I really champion for everyone's success. And you can ask me questions at any time in that group, and it will be answered within 24 hours. So it's a really great opportunity. And Ryan said, Sue, let's throw in something like awesome, like for this, for us only. So I just want to share with you, I've created this amazing hashtag book called Get Your Hashtag On. It's newly released. It's not even out yet. I think it's going to be ready in 10 days. And this will be yours free today if you buy the course. It's a $19.99 value, but I think it's kind of priceless because I've spent a lot of time researching over the 30 different hashtag categories and the ones that will bring you the most engagement. So this is something that I wanted to throw in today. And then also for everybody on the call, Ryan, right? We're going to give them this.
Absolutely.
Okay, so everybody that's on the call, we're going to send you the top 30 hashtags for restaurants. I created this for Ryan, and we wanted everyone, to just thank you for your time. Time is valuable. We get it. Everyone has limited time. I so appreciate you taking the time to listen to this and be on the call. And with all of my courses and everything I do is a money-back guarantee. I so believe in what I'm teaching and what I'm sharing, and everyone that takes this course gets insanely amazing results, and I want you to be one of those people. So Here is my contact information. You can jot it down and send me an email anytime. And below that is the link, and Ryan just put it right in the chat if you want the live link where you can buy the course and have this at your fingertips. And just know that both Ryan and I will be ongoing champions for your success. If you're connected to Ryan, I know that he wants nothing more than to see you succeed. And I sincerely connect with everybody that buys my course. I don't just say, hey, thanks for the money, see ya. I'm definitely a connector, and I really like engaging and getting to know people that are connected to what I'm doing. Right, Ryan?
Absolutely. And I really want to say one thing here really quickly. A lot of people on this call might not be familiar with these sort of newer online info products that you're selling here, or that you're offering here. Is that what this is it's an online module. So you'll get a login and a password, and you'll go to her website, and you can watch these videos on demand whenever you want. You can watch them on your phone, on your iPad. When you're traveling, you can watch it at home. And Sue's done such a great job of putting these videos, like she said, in these 3 to 5 minute chunks, because I know some of you out there are saying the last thing I need is to watch another video. Well, watch one video a day. When you're laying in bed, pull out your iPhone and watch one video before you go to sleep. It's only going to take you a couple of weeks to get through the course. And if you're in a restaurant, if you have one table of 4 come into your restaurant because of one post that you put out, because of one little strategy you learned here, that pays for the entire course. I mean, some of you out there, one client could pay for a trip to Hawaii, let alone paying for the course, depending on what you do. But really, like I said, if you have any specific questions about anything we talked about, or what the course entails, or what it is, or what you get, feel free to type in the chat box. We're going to stay on here for another minute. I definitely wanted to go back to this again, the money back guarantee. I know Sue, she will stand 100% behind this. If for any reason you're not happy with it, you don't feel like you're getting the value out of it, she'll give you your money back instantly. And lastly, I hope Sue remembers that we talked about this morning, but anyone who signs up today,
Oh, yeah.
we're going to do a private webinar like this for you guys in January. So after you've been through the holidays, after you've been through her course, after you've had a chance to try some of these strategies out, we're talking like the first week of January, maybe the second week of January, when everyone has some time. But we're going to do an hour-long webinar, and it's basically going to be 1 hour of Q&A, plus I'm sure by then Sue will have some new strategies to share with us. But you're not going to get that kind of access to Sue or to anyone who plays at the level that Sue is playing at right now. She's speaking all over the country. She's speaking all over the world next year. I don't even know what she charges per hour. I don't even want to ask. But one, I want to thank her for doing this, and I really want to encourage you to take advantage of this offer today, because she is adding to it. I know she's adding to it. She's already talked to me about a few different things she's adding. The price will go up. These bonuses won't be available forever. And Instagram is a place where I'm telling you, a year from now, you're going to look back and say, when there's 500 or 600 million people on Instagram, like it is on Facebook, a billion, I think, or not a billion, I don't know where Facebook is, it's huge. But you're gonna look back and say, I wish I started this earlier. I wish I was on Instagram, because your neighbor, the restaurant down the street from you, is gonna take advantage of Instagram and do it right if you don't, and you're gonna have a hard time taking over that business. So
Yeah, so let me just add. So Ryan, I love that there's an intimate group on the call, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to listen to the replay. So I want to give a shout out to each person: Bill, Brian, Dean, Debbie, Erin, Evo, is it? I hope. Jody and Josh. Who else is on the call? Laura and Ronald and Susan. I would love to see a question or two. I see that Brian asked one, which I can answer right now. So Brian, guess what? As of 2 days ago, I partnered with a company in London, and there is an opportunity to be using your desktop or laptop to post your Instagram post. So it doesn't have to just be on your smartphone. And I have a link for that I'll share with Ryan. It is an app. It does have a monthly fee, and you can manage your Instagrams, and you can actually schedule your posts. So if you're someone that likes to schedule your posts, like in TweetDeck or somewhere, Hootsuite, like for Twitter, and just get everything posted in one day and not worry about it, you can do it from this app, and you can do it from your computer. So good question, Brian, and thanks for asking.
Well, and I want to add,
Who else is?
I got a text message from Bill that he will be throwing in some enchiladas for everyone who buys the product today. Right, Bill?
Who's who's Bill?
Bill is a chef that I worked for, and he's an incredible
Oh,
man. And he has started a company that they make these really gourmet pastries that are incredible.
okay.
And
He's got to send some my way. Okay, sounds delicious.
I think he's going to want to put it. I'm sure he's typing now, pulling that back, but he'll want to put his link.
Oh yeah.
Put your link in
So
here, Bill, so people know what you're up to and what you're doing.
okay, so if no one's going to
But there,
ask a question, okay, so let me just say this. If people are too shy to ask a question or one doesn't come to their mind, can you just type what is the most amazing thing that you learned on the webinar? And that's going to help me improve my presentation and do more of the same. I just want to hear from everyone on the call. I want to know if you're a newbie, if you don't have Instagram yet and you're planning on getting it, just give me some information. There are 3 people typing, but I want everybody to be typing. I want to
well,
hear from you.
let me add to that also. We talked a lot about hashtags, and there's got to be a question or two out there about hashtags because those are so powerful, and I'm not sure
Okay,
everyone.
so Laura, thank you. I want to see everyone's name here because you know what? It's all about engaging. Just don't be shy. I'm really easy to talk to, I promise. So Laura's a total newbie and she loves the hashtag thing and hashtag love. I'm so using that. Good, Laura. I'm excited. And you're a newbie. Honestly, my course, I love that you're a newbie because it starts from the very beginning, like everything you need to do and not undo. So this is perfect for you. Thank you, Erin. I love you and I miss you. And I got to hug you soon. Come back to Boston. And is he your mom?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. I love your son. He's awesome. Dean, unfortunately, I had my time zone mixed up and just dialed in about 10 minutes. Okay. So,
I'll be
Dean, you will
sending.
get the replay for sure. We'll get you that. No problem. Um, And Laura, you said we have an account, but I need to get better about using it. Now I will. Awesome. Love hearing that. So you know now how to use strategies. And Brian doesn't have it yet. So I love that. Anybody that's a newbie, that I hope I've convinced you that you've got to get on Instagram. I'm telling you, I use every platform and I am not making up the stories about my store sales increasing, my client getting that $25,000 client. It happens. Bill, already set up my hashtags and my iPhone note. Makes life easier. Awesome. And Susan is a newbie too and doesn't have it, but my grandchildren do. Of course they do. And now you're going to friggin' one-up them with the hashtag strategy, right? You're going to show your grandchildren, guess what? I'm hashtagging. I got my hashtag on.
Well,
All
and
right.
I hate to put Susan on the line here and say, but she's got an incredible product that she sells, and she lives her product.
Awesome.
She
What is
sells
it?
spice mixes up in the Santa Maria area, and she's part of a restaurant that uses the spice mix, and they barbecue all the time on their ranch using the spice mix and the other products. And I mean, the strategies there of just really exemplifying what your life is and what your business is, and letting people really see the whole lifestyle that goes around with your spice mixes and the beans and the wood chips and the whole ranch lifestyle. She has
Yum. I love that.
and she has such a huge audience of people who lived in Santa Maria that don't live here anymore that are interested in her product and what's. So I've
Okay.
been
So
trying.
I
So
have a deal.
hopefully this will
Yeah.
convince her that she needs to be on Instagram.
Get on Instagram and I will feature your photo on as a featured account because I use a lot of spices in my cooking. I try to eat clean and I love that spices make it so much more enjoyable and healthy. So I'm interested. I want to follow you. All right, who else can ask a question or a comment? You know that we can see you. Or at least your name. Okay. Anybody want to add anything else?
Let's
Are
just
we
put
good,
that.
Vi?
Yeah, we'll put that
Yeah.
link in there one more time, and thank you everyone for joining us again. You've got Sue's email there. You guys all know how to get in touch with me. Ryan at therestaurantboss.com, and O'Brien's typing something, and then we'll probably shut this down here. Let's see what Brian's writing. But again, yeah, thanks everyone for joining. I hope you got a lot out of this, and let's see what Brian's writing here.
Yeah, so
Thank you guys.
I
You're very welcome. Thank you
oh,
everyone.
thanks. Okay. So it was a lot
All
of
right.
fun.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you again. We should all thank Sue for taking the time to do this. We really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I'm grateful for everyone out there who took the time to jump on here. Oh, your hashtag. Everyone's got to do their hashtag.
Get your hashtag on.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great one.